Hey, hi everyone. This is Manish Mishra. I have got around like 15 years of corporate experience, and I'm trying to help you guys to learn AI today on various different perspectives. We have got so many industries. The industry, basically, the IT industry is distributed among various different, categories. All right, whether when I'll just like to explain you here. All right, let's just broadly categorize into two or three different sectors and see how the AI is going to help you. All right, and how the AI is coming for you, and how the AI is going to solve the problems, and how you can use it for your own advantage. All right, now talking about a normal sector. All right, the first one comes as service sector. The first one is your service sector. The second one is your software sector. All right, where basically when I say service, there are various different departments within service. The software is the core of the IT, where the development and the software industry does happen. And then we are talking about, lastly but unlike, is like delivery. All right, so these are the primary sectors the entire IT industry is based out at. All right, the first one is your service, the second one is your software, and the third one is your delivery. All right, so when I am talking about the IT industry, the people are working in either of one of the sectors. Whether you are associated with your service, whether you are associated with software, or whether you are associated with delivery. All right, and it goes hand in hand, step by step. All right, so generally, all right, unless and until you just jump in with an MBA directly into delivery. All right, which I will not go there. All right, I'm just talking about a normal guy who is starting off his career, say after 10 plus 2, after diploma, after degree. All right, and he just switched into IT person, and this is relevant for the people who are talking about from the perspective, say if someone is from mechanical, or someone is from any other division of there is mechanical, automobile, or some industry that you have completed your diploma or degree from. All right, and you want to switch it to IT. All right, you see that there are opportunities in IT, and you want to move ahead. You want to see how things works and all that. On top of everything today, all right, the IT was previously primarily distributed between service, software, and delivery. All right, but these days, today, what is a new term which is coming up, which is on the top of the head, is AI. That's artificial intelligence for you. Artificial intelligence. Sorry, spare me with I'm very bad with the words. All right, so yeah. Now, how is AI relevant with the IT world? Earlier, this term was not even heard. This was completely irrelevant. Nobody knew that this is coming for you. But today it has. That's practical. All right. So, is it impacting the service? Is it impacting the software? Is it impacting the delivery? Yes. It's impacting everything. Everything. It's impacting the delivery, it's impacting the software, it's impacting the artificial intelligence. So AI is relevant. Okay, now remember that word. I'm talking about relevant. All right, I'm talking about relevant in terms of service, relevant in terms of software, relevant in terms of delivery. However, is it an expert? Is it an expert? Is it an expert? Absolutely no. It's not an expert. All right. Who is an expert? You. Because you are the person who is teaching artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is drawn from you, made for you, drawn from you. Okay? So it's just an intelligent machine who is learning, who is still in the phase of learning from what you are teaching, from what the data is teaching. All right. So that's practically artificial intelligence in terms of IT. Obviously, these, when you're talking about service, software, delivery, they have various different branches, right? Not one, but multiple, all right? Just I'm giving you an example in terms of service, all right? The first layer of service is customer care. All right. The second layer is probably service management. Service management. Within service management, there is multiple different layers, but I will just talk about the primary ones, which is incident management, IM, problem management, PM, change management, CM. And these are the primary branches. Apart from that, there are multiple different things. We will go deep down. We will deep dive into each of the stuff. We'll even deep down into the customer care. From service management, obviously, from here, things, once the service basically is completed, I'm going to say customer care is your first department, then you move into service management, and then things eventually moves into the software category, and this world is a big world. Okay, big world. Everything is happening here. All right, softwares. There are a lot of stuff's happening. A lot of Azure, cloud, whatnot. All right. So we'll try to cover the aspects. We will see how we are going to move with that. And then once the software and the delivery, there are a lot of things which is in here, release management and whatnot. All right, once agile, waterfall, a lot of methodologies when it comes to software. However, once the software is developed, things moves into the final category, which is delivery. All right, so software, when we talk about majorly, is like engineering, right? So when you complete, whether you are an IIT, IITN, or a big or a diploma, okay, or an ITI. All right. So what you're trying to learn is the software. All right, from whatever department you are in. All right, whether it's software, mechanical, hardware, or whatever. The software is everywhere. And then finally comes into the delivery. That's the last section we are talking about. So here, IIT or ITI or a diploma holder comes into an MBA. That's delivery for you. Okay, so when you're talking about, sorry, I just scratched my wall. All right, so MBA is basically around understanding the business. How does these two operates? Okay, so if you understand how does the software industry operates, how does the service industry operates, how does the software industry operates? If you do understand everything in and around the service, everything in and around the software, that's where you move to delivery. You become a manager. That's the, I guess most of the people, that's the final goal. All right. So you become a manager. All right. So you understand service first, then you understand the software first. Software next, and then you become a delivery guy. A few people do understand that theoretically. That's what is taught in MBA. Okay, whether you do it from XLRI or whether you do it from any big organization, IIMs or whatnot. All right, so MBA, what is it? The course actually is just teaching you an overview of service and software. If you understand service, software, technically already an MBA guy. It's just about a theoretical bit, certain terms, probably certain. I'll be letting you know how does that works, right? On each of the front. Yeah, so that's just in a nutshell. I'm trying to let you know how does this. Sorry, it looks really meshy, and someone who's not listening would not understand the arrows. I'm not very good at pointing stuff, but yeah, in everything today, all right. If we talk about who is the smartest guy, whether from service, whether from software, or whether from delivery, the smartest guy is your artificial intelligence. Okay, AI. Now, how is that working? How is that learning? How is that serving? We are going to learn. All right. We are going to learn from each of the perspective. So we are going to first learn about the service. We're going to learn about the softwares. We are going to learn about delivery. And then we are going to learn about how things are connected to AI, how AI is working, how basically is the back end of the AI is working in terms of LLMs, in terms of what LLMs are. There are so many courses in the market today, so many YouTube videos, so many people talking about AIs, all right, but nobody is teaching basically as to how, all right. People are talking about large level module, people are talking about YouTube videos, creating contents, and so many things. However, how is this thing working? How is the core working? All right, it's very simple. It's like, you sorry, just give me a sec. I'll quickly go a little better. What we just talked about, all right, about AI. That's the initial stage, and that's how AI is coming for you in terms of the IT world. All three, what we just discussed: service, software, and delivery. Okay. All right. So yeah. So as I was telling you, the AI is basically coming for all three what we just discussed, which is like service, as well as software and delivery. All right. So coming in for you in all different, all three different. The first one obviously is the service industry, right? So let's begin with customer service. All right. Let's begin with customer service. The industry is huge. When I say customer service, that is help desk, that is IT help desk, and any other help desk that you could talk about. So that's what is the customer service in short. All right, I don't have to go into the depth and explain you from A as in alpha, B as in beta, and C as in Charlie. All right, those days are gone. All right, now Customer service broadly divided into help desk, IT help desk. In terms of AI, it killed it. The industry is killed. So, finished. Finished. This is where you are hearing the news that, Oracle fired this many people, IT is going to, TCS is going to fire, Cognizant is going to fire. The first industry, the first thing that is on fire, is on the firing line, is going to take the bullet on the head, is this department. So if you're working here, if you're associated with customer service, and if you don't know AI, you're gone. You're finished. How to escape it? What you're going to learn? Because obviously, when I'm talking about customer service, people are good at communication. Let's look at the pros and cons. Okay, the pros and cons. Okay, the pros and cons. Everything has got a pros and cons. Everything has got a pros and cons. So when you talk about pros, for someone who is working in the customer service, good communication skill. Communication, right? I assume that you definitely have got a good communication skill, whether you're working in हिंदी में अगर हिंदी में भी कस्टमर केयर एपैक है ना, and then English में भी, right? So whether you're associated with EMEA or AMER region, whatever, right? But one thing is common, communication अच्छे, लोग आपको समझ सकते हैं, you are talking good, you are doing beautiful job, communication is good. But when it comes to the comparison with AI, better than AI, the answer from my end is no. I don't know. What do you think? But what I am saying, that is your communication better than AI? No. Why? Because AI has got so many resources to learned. Okay, how it has learned, where it has learned, I'll let you know when we will learn AI. Okay, but in terms of communication, can you beat AI? No. हरा सकते हो AI को? नहीं हरा सकते. AI is much better. That is the reason आप लोग देखते हो ना वो, when we talk about banking services or any other services these days, there is a bot, right? You see some structure, ऐसा कुछ आता है, एक चश्मा पहना हुआ ये, something. This thing is called bot. What is it? AI है. ठीक है? How does this work? We will learn over the session. There are going to be much more classes that we are going to explore about. However, my idea was just to let you know that the first firing line is customer service. So I'm just trying to defend the first class of people who's at the firing line. All right. How and what we are going to do, how we are going to save the job, who is basically in customer service, in help desk, or in IT help desk. What you are supposed to be doing, what should be your next step, or how you can utilize your thing. Sorry, I did not discuss about the pros and cons in detail, but yeah, I assure that once we come back to this particular class back again, the video is getting too long, so we will talk about the pros and cons in our next class, and we are going to save our customer service department. All right, we are going to save people from customer service so that you know, you can upskill and you can move ahead. All right, how we are going to do that? We're going to learn that in the next classes. All right. Yeah, with that, I'll close the video for today, and I expect that you will be joining me tomorrow at the same time, and we will move ahead and get this done. All right, thank you. Thanks so much. Yeah, so that's what we are gonna do in our next class, and thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for watching Mr. classes. We will definitely be exploring more, and we will be learning AI from the scratches, and I'm going to save you for your next job. All right, thank you.